welcome to this Q&A. We are going to present to you the Masters in Finance at Stockholm School of Economics today and just let you know how it is to be a woman in finance. So my name is Iona, I'm from Luxembourg. I did my bachelor's in International Business and Economics at Lund University, and I'm now in the first year in the Masters in Finance here at SSE.
My name is Evelyn and I'm originally from a smaller town called Jönköping, but I did my bachelor's in Gothenburg and now I'm here.
Great. So we will just do a few questions on how we got into this master's and what it's like to be a student and a woman in this class. So starting off, what led you to applying and fall in love with the Masters in Finance program?
So what led me to finance was that I really liked the analytical part of it, and also the combination with also seeing the results from your analytics. So I kind of fast fell in love with finance in my bachelor's, and I started to evaluate different options, and SSE was like clearly the best option.
Yeah. I would say for me it was sort of the same. So in my bachelor's I did not know what I really wanted to do later on, and I had very many options open, but then I was active in the finance society and was able to visit a few banks and see what careers exist, and I really enjoyed it. And then I went on exchange and I also took finance courses there, and I thought this is the right choice for me.
Yeah. So did you always know that you wanted to do finance? Like, what did you want to do when you were younger?
No, not at all. So in high school I actually wanted to study law.
Oh, me too!
Because I've always had an interest in politics, and I thought that this would be a great combination, but I couldn't decide on what type of law I wanted to do or what country, so what realm of law I wanted to work in. And then I chose to just do a bachelor's in something very generic and broad, so I would have more opportunities later on and I wouldn't have to decide right now. And then obviously my choice changed, but I'm really grateful that it did. And was there a moment where maybe you thought the Masters in Finance isn't for me, or that finance in general as a career field is not really for you?
I think like in the beginning, because I have a father in finance, and he's like a portfolio manager, and I thought that like finance meant that you're like working in the stock market, and I always felt like that was very lonely. You only like sit with your computer, but then I realized that there are so many paths within finance, and it's so social, and then I started thinking maybe this is for me.
Yeah. Interesting. I think for me it was more that I only thought that one career opportunity existed, since if you mainly ask someone that is rather young what they want to do in finance, let's say it's usually banking or investment banking, and I did not know that there was so much more out there. There's markets, there's portfolio management, you can work at a hedge fund, and I think just this opening up of different possibilities was really interesting to me, because it meant that I could do more than just one thing in the future.
Yeah, and I feel like there are options that fit like every personality type. If you're very shy or introvert, there's something for you. If you're very extrovert, there's something for you.
Did you have any myths in finance that you believed in before you started studying here?
I thought that there were only going to be men working in the industry, but that one was kind of proven wrong very early, because we met so many women in finance in the first weeks.
Yeah.
And also I thought that like, it's only gonna be men in the classroom and everything. And that was also very surprising that we are so many girls in the class. And I think also like lastly, the culture and the environment. I thought it was gonna be so much harsher, but actually we're so friendly to each other, everyone helps each other.
Yeah, agreed. It's a very inclusive environment.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it also depends on now which specializations we're taking, if in some courses will be more girls or not. But I really think it has never affected us personally. Yeah. And we have very impressive female teachers.
Yeah.
So I think that is a really good inspiration on what you can manage in finance, even if it's in an academic perspective, for example.
So would you say that there are any skills that you use today that you didn't expect to be required in finance?
Yes, definitely. So I think I always first thought that in finance you need to be very rigorous and only have analytical skills, but actually you always work in a team or you present in a team to a client, for example. So you need to be able to pitch yourself, pitch your bank or your company wherever you're working, and we are both learning that because we now have group work in a master's in finance, but also individual work, so we're definitely able to learn both skills.
Yeah. So why did you choose SSE over other schools?
Yes, one of the main reasons why I chose this school was because of the case-based learning. So we are in many classes presented a narrative with a dilemma, and we're supposed to take on the perspective of a CFO and how we would tackle this problem. And I think this is quite an interesting learning method because we then often get the representatives come in for guest lectures or other presentations, and we're able to understand really what was going on in this company, what was fundamentally wrong. And we're able to apply this also in different scenarios, whether this be in interviews or in an internship. And I think that this is really giving since we're learning how to learn, sort of.
Yeah, I really agree that it can help you in like interviews and stuff, case interviews.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I would say that SSE has a really, really great reputation in Sweden. And I guess it's like always been sort of a dream for me. I know I walked past the school when I was younger and I'd be like, oh, one day maybe. So yeah, I think it's always like been there somewhere.
Nice, and it's a dream came true.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really nice narrative.
Yeah.
So Evelyn, what surprised you most about the Masters in Finance?
I would say the fact that we're so closely tied to the business community. You get such good networking opportunities. We have company lunches where you can sit in a very intimate setting. You can ask whatever questions you want. We even had a career fair solely for our class. These are really good opportunities.
Agreed. I also really appreciate how diverse our class is, especially from an educational background. And I think that this really changes the vibe in the classroom as well.
Yeah, agreed. Were you scared that it was going to be male-dominated in the classroom?
Yes, I was actually. I think that originates from my experiences in the bachelor's and also when I attended a few company events, that I was one of the few girls in the cohort, and then it always feels a bit intimidating to ask questions. But in reality, our class is really diverse. In gender, in age, in nationality, in educational background. So I think it creates more of an open-ended or open-minded environment. Yeah. What do you think?
I guess I was expecting it to be male-dominated, so it was actually quite surprising when it turned out to not be that way. So I think like before I started, I was preparing myself for that, but then it was just a nice surprise that we were so diverse.
So how do you think that your peers or the faculty at the school have changed your perception?
I think especially the peers or classmates have helped so much. I've learned so much from them. Like as we spoke about earlier, we have such different experiences. And some people have been working in some field and another field, and you just learn so much from them and from their different talents. It's a great community. Yeah,
agreed. I think especially if we're working in groups, you can see how we sort of benefit from each other's skills a lot, and that not everyone is the same person. But we all also want to study different things later on maybe, or work in different fields. So it's a good mix.
So what kind of roles would you say that the women in our class are interested in mostly?
I think it's very different depending on your interests. So I think also from previous years, it's generally banking, consulting, but also a lot of venture capital or private equity. Maybe this also got to do with Stockholm and our school being such a startup hub that this interest has come around. So I think it can be anything. And on that note, do you think that SSE has helped you build confidence professionally? Have you had any good interview experiences, for example?
I think that I have gotten so much help. For example, we had mock interviews before the application period, which helped so much. I got like so much feedback, like think about this. It helped so much when having our really interviews.
I also did a mock interview.
Yeah. And also you can apply for the mentorship program where you get to sign a mentor from the industry. And that personally has helped me so much. I'm so grateful for my mentor.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think it's also a different perspective because even if these people, I don't know if your mentor has studied here before, but mine has very long ago. And it's very interesting to see how those cohorts, those classes are still connected.
Yeah.
So I sort of look forward to maybe in 20 years if our class is still...
Yeah, maybe we will be mentors.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Did internships change the way you see yourself in finance?
Yes, definitely. I've used internships also during my undergraduate in the summers to get to know what I would like to work in for the future. And I think that has really helped me to know what I want to study later on, because I'm also now choosing a few courses that are in line with an internship I'm going to do. And I also think that now in the Masters, we're able to benefit a lot from both our studies, but also the business project, if we want to combine this and also do an internship while studying full-time.
So the business project course is where you get 15 credits for doing an internships, and then you write a report about it, so your peers can learn about your experience, which is very helpful when you want to do an internship, so you don't have to take such long breaks from the studying.
Now we'll be talking about challenges in the program. So Evelyn, what has been the most challenging part for you?
I would say the first semester, where the application period for the internships coincided with the exam period. That was quite stressful. I don't know if you agree.
Yes, I do. I think it was also very unusual for us, or unknown, because it was the first semester at the school with very demanding courses, and we wanted to strive for a lot and difficult internships, so it was a lot of work, but I think it pays off in the end.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And do you think, on this note, if it's been such hard work, have you experienced any imposter syndrome ever, or not?
Yes, for sure, I would say. It's always like that in the beginning, and I think it's like quite fascinating, because you can feel like a total imposter one day, and then a week later you feel like you fit in perfectly, and that's like so amazing.
I think it also contributes maybe to how our class works together, because we become such a tight-knit group, so you might also experience less imposter syndrome once you get to know everyone, and we're not such a big class either.
Yeah,
so.
And I just think it's such a receipt that you are developing so much here.
Agreed.
So what did you do to manage the tough times?
I think there's many different things you can do. If you want to talk to a faculty member, there's always someone available. And if you, for example, want to change your study pace, you can speak to the academic advisor. They are very helpful in all types of regards. And on a more personal level, I think it's really helped to have study groups, and also just to meet up with friends outside of your class, maybe from other masters or completely unrelated, for example, in sports, just to get your mind to other things.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
So since we know that many of you girls will probably be watching and wondering whether you belong here, we will be asking Evelyn if she ever had this feeling and what she did against this.
Yes, it's a feeling that I recognize, and I think it's valid. But as we talked about, it's a very diverse class, and I think that like almost everyone would feel like they belong here if they're really interested in finance, of course.
Yeah, agreed.
But there is a place for everyone.
And on that note, do you have any advice for anyone applying?
My advice would be to really take every opportunity in the application to tell them about yourself, do the video, do the interview, fill in every blank space, just show them who you are.
Yeah, my advice would also be to really see what courses you would like to take, and if there's maybe a program that you can really identify yourself with, since the masters are very different in their program structure.
Who would you say thrives in this program?
I would say that many different personalities thrive in this program, so you should be naturally curious, inquisitive and welcoming, as well as have an open-minded attitude, because that is also how our case-based method works in class.
Yeah, I would say it's very important to be humble and down to earth. You should be open to others' perspectives. And then if you are all of those things, you will really learn so much here, and it will be so rewarding.
Thank you for watching. We hope we were able to give you some more insights into both the Masters in Finance as well as Stockholm School of Economics in general.
And please do dare to apply. It's so worth it. Don't be the one to say no to yourself. We are really happy that we applied, and you will be too.